Alright guys, how are we doing? Welcome back. I'm so pleased you're here for this one. This is a quick tip that I learned fairly recently actually, using a tool that's already in Adobe Audition to help save a lot of legwork with your editing process for audiobooks, voiceover, or any sort of long-form spoken word audio. Is this trick going to remove the editing process? No, absolutely not. But it's going to take a large chunk of the labor out of it and just give you a much easier starting point. What we're going to do today is delete all of the silence. But there's a trick to doing it, because most delete silence tools squish everything together way too much and make it impossible to edit afterwards. But what's really nice, what we're going to do is we're going to make all of the long silences, all of the really long ones, we're just going to take them and cut them down. And then we're going to save a lot of time in our editing process from not having to shorten every single silence as we go along. If you're like me and you pause a lot between sentences, believe me, this will save you hours. So, let's jump over to my workstation and I will show you how to do it. Okay, guys, here we are over where the magic happens. I have this audio. Don't worry too much about what it is, it doesn't matter too much. But what does matter is it has lots of gaps, like this one here. This gap here is 1 second and 741 milliseconds. So make a note, this is 29 minutes and 16 seconds worth of audio. Now, normally when you edit, you're gonna have to go through, delete that, and then shorten that up, and then listen, and then shorten, and then shorten, and then shorten, and shorten, and shorten, and shorten. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna batch do all of that so that when we come through to edit, we only have to worry about the odd gaps that need to be a bit bigger, which is a lot less work, believe me. So, what you need to do is come into Windows, and believe it or not, it's in Diagnostics. So open up Diagnostics. You can move these around, by the way, and put them wherever you want. Here is fine. I'm gonna bring that up. Just give us some room so you can see what's going on. Now, there is a preset in here called Clean Up Podcast Interview. This works great, just as it is, but you might want to dial it in. The effect we're looking for is desilence. And find levels, analyzes your audio, figures out what your noise floor is, and sets up the definitions for you. You can also dial this in a little bit if you need to. So you have define silence, so this is what is considered silence. So anything over half a second, 500 milliseconds, with a signal below negative 65 dB. So what it's saying is for something to be classified as silence by this tool, it needs to be over half a second of less than negative 65 dB. Define audio, so it will consider something audio if it's over negative 55 dB and more than 25 seconds. Depending on your audio, you can tweak this and mess around with it. It's a really good idea to do this after you've already done your mix and your master, so that your noise floor is a little bit more consistent. If you're using noise reduction, expander, and you've cut breaths or anything like that, this works a lot better after doing that. The key here, the big important key here, is to fix by deleting silence. You don't want to do that because that will literally just cut out all of the silence and leave it like this, and this is a nightmare, right? You don't want to do that. So change this to shorten silence. Now you can change this to whatever you want, really. I would suggest something like 450 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds is a good bet. And what this is saying is scan the audio, anything that's over half a second and under 65 dB, cut it down so that it's 450 milliseconds. So it's shortening everything over half a second of silence down to 450 milliseconds of silence. Now what we can do is hit scan. And if we just lift this little bit up here, this is a list of all the silences that it's found. So you can flick through these if you want, and then check that, you know, if this one, for example, is a break between two sections, you can delete that one from the list so it doesn't do that. Or you can make a note that it's there and go back and fix it afterwards. But this is how many silences it's found. Loads and 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 loads. That is 279 is detected. So that's at least 277 edits that you would have had to make to this track as you go. Let's have a look. So at the moment the duration is 29 minutes and 16 seconds. If we come back out of here and then hit shorten all, what it's going to do is it's going to cut down all of the long silences. Give it a minute. There we go. See, these gaps are still here. They're still here. They're just shorter. And now, our whole track is 24 minutes and 170... 20... Oh my god. It's now 27 seconds... 27 minutes and 38 seconds. So if I undo that, so you can see, look at this gap here and this gap here. Just wait for the computer to catch up. See? The gaps are still there. The silence is still in the same place. It's just... whoop. So what I'll do is... just zoom in. Zoom in. So this gap here is 1 second. And when we run the process, shorten this gap. There we go. We'll just shorten this one. Whoop. It's just cutting it down. How cool is that? Do you know how much time this saved me? I wish I learned this years ago. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it helps. I hope it saves you as much time as it saved me. It's so simple. I'm going to go into a lot of my tips and tricks and share with you how to do one-button mastering like this. This is cool. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you like, drop a like on the video. That'd be a huge help. And yeah, any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to help out. If you have anything else you want to see, drop a comment. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see if I can do a video about it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.